Pity a little devil destiny scene. How could he be worthy of a goddess? Many people admire that. On the photographic side now. He turned to see her alone. Then I started with stop. This is my friend trying. He went to say hello to your sister-in-law with a friendly smile. These words make you stop being shy. Look around to confirm. See if you have to tell me or not. The photographer happily suggested that we stop standing here. Find a seat and talk slowly. They went to the empty table. The photographer turned to ask why she wasn't coming. Stop talking. I was chosen to go to a secret place. At the angel tone. To practice. We can't even get in touch with her. He pulled out his chair and thought. I don't know what the mystery is. Is life okay? Then he invited me to stop sitting. When I stopped, I thanked the photographer. Then suddenly, the luggage laughed, haha. I asked if I could sit here. The photographer nodded in agreement. Please stand by and greet the luggage. They greeted each other laughing and laughing. There was a polite voice in the back. Can we sit here? He walked over to the empty chair. Stop being surprised. I looked back and saw that it was a bird. And Mirong dance suddenly dissipated. Snow appeared to the void. Then glanced at the stop sign. Nie Li. EP hesitantly scratched his head and laughed. Sorry, we're just sitting across from each other. Two young men sat down. The photographer also died. And 6 adventures with Snow Pepper, talking endlessly. Tried to stand next to the photographer, laughing. Let's sit tight. The photographer happily agreed, trying to pull the chair to sit. Then the dragon ball appeared. A picture of a place to work makes the crowd as bewildered as a fish. With this action, luggage hastened to pull the chair. Cho tried to talk. Let's sit down. It's a small table full of people. The sky is quiet outside right now. But inside, there's a lot of people laughing and talking. The photographer right now. Han Yi poured wine to speak. Party today. It was organized by the high-level 3 great patriarchs. Let us interact with each other. Later, if you go into the world helps each other, as well as being able to take care of each other. I stand in front of your glass. Today, everyone is a friend. The glass is raised to say, after drinking, people don't care about him. People close their eyes and rest. People have fun together. 8 things. The snow is falling on each other. Make IP porch the country river. The river is silent. Only Vu's grave looked at him with a faint smile. Stand up and raise the cup. Mr. IP is right. Previously, in the devil's land. Because I didn't know the photographer, I was guilty. The Lord's forgiveness is generous. When he finished, he dried up. The photographer said, Brother Mirong is joking. Brother Dong's grave. Body is the predecessor of the 5 heavenly destiny. You can tell me what to ask for. Next time, hope I can see my brother again. Inside the devil's land. Mum said that, of course. Always ready. But in the heart of laughter, mocking haha. Beat Cho puffy face. I still want to be tortured. Van luggage here glanced to remind Mirong dance. You fight. How many times do we do that? Haha, if not for me. I don't know if you'll soon be a loser. As I told you last time. If you touch me, get away. Looks like you don't understand at all. I tried to hear that and laughed. IP turned to ask, laughing. This person is the luggage. I often hear people talk about you. Fire God Tone IP Tai. We love the world of Vu Than Tong. It can also be called knowing each other. The man realized that he was knocking his hand down the table. The Fire Nation is the strongest family. He holds 6 pieces of power inside the Fire God. I asked them how they called it. He laughed softly at the porch. The reason for thinking is that the young master. Raise a glass to the guests. Photographer looked at eucalyptus porch that evaluated. Look out, this place is not simple. But in short, it has nothing to do with me. Don't be like Mirong. Suddenly, he glanced at the goddess. I saw her laughing and having fun with the photographer. Make him sigh. I think it's easy for a girl to get carried away by love. 6 gods, the land in the Long Can area, is all because of the ruling family. How good is God? There is no foundation. They absolutely cannot grow up. If you follow him, you will have money. He looked to stop complaining. It's a shame. I asked her to stop. You want to stay for a few days? She replied, 2 days later. It made the photographer look stupid. Tell them to come to my place tonight. Make stop the blush-jerking people. I try to get water in my mouth too. Stop the shy blush nod. Think if the photographer wants. Retreat wax to say small. I made a god-level love. It's mature for me to fit in. Listen to this. Then stop. The child realized that it is only his own interpretation. My ears are red as if to smoke. It makes photography difficult to understand. Long Yuyan glanced silently at. Without a word. The nurse asked if you were listening. She was slightly dumbfounded. Does the photographer understand my mind? Now the crowd has become confused. Suddenly someone shouted. My gas spills out, and it's gone. Ring is surprise. A young man in pure white clothes appears. It makes people say, Long Thien Min. I didn't expect him to come too. This Long Thien Min belongs to the celestial realm scene 9. The curly-haired guy nearby spoke up about Theo. He was the first heir to the Dragon Seal family. Who was selected for the post of patriarch? Next term. It is not easy to meet Long Thien Min. Normally, he is dedicated to training. Looks like today is the right time to leave. Everyone was surprised when he walked towards the photographer. Long Thien Min spoke up. Your brother also came to Sao. The parlor asked respectfully. Long, are you okay? Last time we said goodbye to the fire god. It's been almost 3 years. Long Thien Min laughed softly. It's really been a long time. The number of brothers also increased a lot. Eve Veranda grinned furiously. Long brother, 2 words. And the VI of the new brother Long. Make others not keep up. Aphrodite is not ashamed. Then Long Thien Min turned to ask Long Huayan. My cousin is also here. As the dragon Wukan unpleasantly turned to another place. He immediately glanced at his side. I met the glare of the luggage. When he looked at him, he turned to the gutter. See if you still have friends. I don't bother anymore. If you have time for 2 days, invite me to tea. We have to go to another friend. Laughing, I agree with Long. You just go to your job. So Long Thien Min turned his back and left. Photographer, look according to Long Thien Min aesthetic. I'm very impressed. Previous life for the internal god of dance. The struggle is like in the fog. Even outsiders don't understand why. But I finally found out. The ultimate beneficiary of this series. There's only him. Long Thien Min took over as chairman. A period of time. And then she got to be an angel. After he left, the Lord divided the year 7 completely. Can't help but say, Strength and mind are the top players. It's a tough fire to deal with, even though he doesn't see himself. I didn't even look at myself just now. I laughed and sat down and said, I can't believe I'm sitting here. He was also found by Long. Unlikable glance. I told my luggage I heard. In a moment, we will sell some of the treasures of the three great gods. I don't know what's there. Does it interest others? The luggage laughed. Every auction, of course. All three of them have some rare items. To auction, let the geniuses and the gods. No interest in participating. Chen Dao opened his mouth and said, maybe the photographer is also interested. To the treasure auction. Every auction will actually have some rare treasures. Like those things. If you want to get in, you will lose thousands of spirit stones. The land also lost thousands of stones. The photographer replied, oh. So, SAO, let's go see how to make Mirong laugh. Then go and have a look. Ha. Suddenly, the luggage sitting next to me wanted to laugh. When he turned around, he said, no SAO, no SAO. Glancing eyes thinking, this photographer. It's a good way to talk. The spirit stones in his hands are about 100,000 spirit stones. IP Veranda said more, this auction has a lot of spiritual gifts. For example, heaven and I'm sure a lot of people don't want to miss it. Even though it is good to see the sky. But not as much as this year's penultimate act. I don't know what the penultimate event will be. Yes, that's right. Last time penultimate entry. It's a 3-tiered beast. Sold more than 60,000 stones. But these shows are only Long Brother. They are qualified to compete. The photographers are talking excitedly. He suddenly stopped pulling on his sleeve and said, suddenly, a beautiful girl appeared. As gentle as a fairy. Stop children Theo, that's the holy woman of the angel. We are incomparable. If you look at it, it looks like that. I think it's 10 players. The first ranking of the whole Long Can area. You alone can kill God. Massacre 2 super grade strength fake. So rough. But she's such a beautiful and graceful girl. You shouldn't look at people by their appearance. He pointed out that he was still there. He's the fire god. Surprised photographer asked Inflammation Yang Sao. This is not the Fire Lord. God of 100 years later. This little gathering of jaundice. And yet, in turn, there are many false powers. Previous life like that. Yang Inflammation opened up an era of fire god. At that time, the fire god despised the world. Once upon a time, I could not raise my head. Unfortunately, it is difficult for the 6 great princes to have strength. But against heaven, still no way. Against the power of the Holy Ghost. Let's not talk about God, but in the face of God's power. Even the 6th generation of the previous life can overcome the Holy Emperor, but it's also hard to win. Under the Holy Spirit for more than 100,000 years, the whole time was not held by him. It's based on the power of a basic person. It will end like a previous life. Think about here, he realized that he needed more and more allies. He turned to look at Thien Min. Then look at Min Nuyet and Yang Inflammation. The Queen of Heaven and Heaven. The future Master of Fire. This trip is in DTO. Then he turned to the radio and tried to speak. You say, how can I contact 2 people? Min Nuyet, peerless and inflammatory. Yang tried to startle and transmitted the sound again. Don't ask me that kind of hard question. We are not qualified to meet them. The most, they only know where they rest. The photographer nodded and laughed softly. I try to hide my face. Don't mess up. These two are the guests of the Lord of Heaven. The photographer just laughed. It makes you sweat all over. As time went by, someone walked on stage. She looked at the beautiful girl and immediately fell. A woman with orange hair. Beautiful radiance standing on the podium, talking loudly. You can go to the temple today. It's been an honor. I am a disciple of the angel of heaven, called the Master. Like always, this time we're going to have an auction. There's a lot of treasures from the three great sects. It will be auctioned. Except for the cheerleader. The young people below the AI are all interested. Keep your eyes on the stage. Handel's statement, approval. The first auction item was a Lin Long. Great blood is mature. Blood of the dragon. The photographer also admires that it must be great. The city is also amazing when you hear the dragon's blood. People started competing. The price was gradually raised to 10,000, 2,000 spirit stones. The guy on the porch said stop. If you need to love the dragon. It's very mature. I'll buy it. But stop, the child bluntly replied, no need. 6 adventurers see that smile twisted the mosquito. Photographer turned to rabbit card. Let me make you a god. She nods with a slight smile. Face flushed with eyes filled with love. To call the photographer makes IP porch upset in his heart. Quickly, the first item is latched. With raw 20,000, 7,500 spirit stones. Cam browsing notice so. The 6th one has also been sold. This is the last one, and congratulations. Try to feel. The disciples of the fire god are rich. The tiger is the head of the 6 gods. 6 people love you so fast. Let them get it all. The next dish. This is auctioned off as a bottle of goblins. This flower has been inspected. Of the class of asteroids, the starting price is 1,000 stones. Is anyone interested in watching? To the soul-loving aesthetic. This is something that can increase the spirit power. I just started taking out that precious thing. And then he glanced at Ross. Help me buy this flower spirit jar. She said, rest assured. When raising the price, the tomb suddenly cost 10,000, 1,000 spirit stones. She looked at him with disgust. Then the price of 10,000, 1,100 spirit stones. Murong also likes to distort immediately to the price of 10,000, 2,000 spirit stones, but try to soften up immediately. To the price of 1,000, 2,100 spirit stones. Murong increased again by 10,000, 3,000. Someone is sighing at the price right now. As if the person next to me was telling me to wait. Let's wait for a good movie. Trying to raise the price of 10,000, 3,100 spirit stones. Make Murong dance, crazy aesthetic bad boy. You want to show up for photography? Immediately price 10,000, 5,000. In my heart, there is no money. But trying is still provocative. Calmly to the price of 10,000, 5,100 spirit stones. Blue-eyed people secretly think, this guy is a lot of money. I have 30,000 stones in my hand if buying this bottle also needs to be reconsidered. At this price, the face is turned. If you need it, give it to me. She asked in bewilderment. Give up, Sao. This spirit of love can be given to you. There is a price on the other side. To pay 1,000 and 6,000 spirit stones. You are disdainful, you told Murong Wu, see? People pay a lot. If you don't have money, don't bother. It's just more fun. Make Murong crazy cold blood. But I laughed and said that. Try to keep fighting. Just try to say it's natural. 1,000, 7,000. This price makes other young people miserable. The bearer is happy to announce there is no new price. Congratulations to this brother. But people don't need to rush. There are also 5 love spirits. I was surprised to think there was still something. But when he said that he was the god of the world, then a depressed woman says there's nothing interesting. But then try to continue to price the vases. After the translation is completed, the Star of Love. It's neatly arranged on the table, with the smile of the old. I want to remind you to love the soul. It's good, but we're out of money now. I'm afraid I can't buy good stuff anymore. She told me that you don't need to care about this. I hate the type. There is no money and pretending to be rich. It made me cough a little for a few hours and then talk. I just have a reminder. Parents don't accept that. The young people next to me also wondered. Ask the person at the table, why do you do that? A smiley explained, haha. Is the famous Sao Junior Duong powder. It's strange that he doesn't cause trouble. There are also 2 other beauties in this one. Meanwhile, Long Yu deep-faced thinking, what am I doing here? I remember the teacher before speaking. You have such a hot temper. Even if it's more beautiful. No man likes it either. This word surprised Long Yu Yin. The cold said, since when do you need a favorite man? Back to the present. She looked at the photographer. It's like throwing that in your face. Party stage. He took out the treasure, and the next is heaven. Audio then, advertisement. The heaven and the underworld is by the pharmacist of the angel of the underworld. Collect 10 kinds of medicinal herbs. That city. The power of medicine is much stronger than the spirit crystal flower. The most important thing is that the sky is easily absorbed. So the effect is more obvious. The excited crowd cheered furiously. Silence assured you there is no hurry. This time out, we've brought 100 flasks of heaven and earth. 10 bottles per auction. The crowd was excited to hear that. Ask each other how much money they have together. I'm excited to pay $10,000. Then suddenly, someone went up to 1,000. It makes the young men scream. Why did you raise the price like that? Anyway, there are 100 people waiting for the next one. Hold approval immediately fixed the price of 10,000, 1,000. She laughed and said, then the next round starts at 10,000. Just finished, everyone excited. Then one goes up to $12,000. Bolt. He then asked me who is really rich. Try to laugh, haha. I want the remaining 30 bottles for you. You don't have to stress. People talk to each other and tell this guy what he's doing. Everybody gets it all. That's tens of thousands of spirit stones. Right, after all. Try out, how many resources did you give this predator? But I'm still laughing excitedly. To stop the photography. Where we have a lot of heaven and hell. When I get back, I'll get you 10 bottles. I didn't use it all for you either. The photographer laughed in agreement. Because Leo Kier melons exist in the soul of the sea. My cultivation progress is much slower compared to others, but every time the tonnage, increased power also outweighs others. This Leo melon is a supercharged black hole, but we can feel it when it's perfected. It's absolutely not trivial. The resources in your hands are long enough. So the photographer turned to the signal. Every time, try to understand the meaning of peace of mind. And declare this we also want. That we also want. He kept closing the deal. Make people hold their heads and shout, "Village boy rotten." It makes me sit here jealous. The familiar words of the No AI pricing higher than SAO. Congratulations to this brother. You smile a high. It made me dance a little, Tim said. What the hell did I buy? You're shouting the price, right? Your face is shit. Then hold the notification approval. The next treasure is gas protection. Luxury medical equipment. When I tried to hear it, I was surprised. He said very well that this must be obtained. But the photographer here thinks this thing doesn't work. Laughing spray to start 7,000 spirit stones. And the crowd started screaming. I tried to shout out 1,000 spirit stones. It makes people stiff. He held hands and asked for 1,000 spirit stones. Anyone else want to bid? Then the grave said 10,000, 2,000 spirit stones. She smeared the damage on the price of 10,000, 3,000 spirit stones. He glanced at the thought. That's an idiot. Money without a mind. Shout the price for what we want to buy. While this thing is worth 1,000 spirit stones. This is because we are geniuses. You are a stupid playboy. Only the stupid. I just spent money on these lame pants. He thought he was going to hit the table. It costs 10,000, 4,000 spirit stones. Excited to think that the price will be higher. Waiting for him to scream. But he's also a dumb-faced photographer. 10,000, 4,000 SAO promised. The whole room is waiting for you. Then suddenly, he opened his mouth and yawned. It makes it hard to understand. And tried to turn around and say, you know, if you want to take that leap of faith, just keep going. My Lord is not equal to you. It made me sweat all over my body. All of a sudden, everyone is laughing. Murong was horrified to swallow hot water. Ask yourself why you didn't raise the price. Suddenly trying to laugh. And banged the table. This deadly armor. The maximum value is only 1,000 stones. Some people want to waste 10,000 minus 4,000 spirit stones. Buy it. You're an idiot. Said he laughed sarcastically, haha. It makes you clench your teeth and say no words. Make everyone laugh and make fun of him. I think this kid. I'm sure how much money I'll raise. Suddenly, he was stunned. I thought you were yelling at me before. Maybe because I want to. Exploration of my heritage SAO. You know this guy's pretending, right? I hate to be unscrupulous. I pee on the porch. Call Murong brother browsing here notice. Then the price of 10,000 for 1,000 spirit stones is fixed. A reminder to buy heavy armor. This dress is a little rough. But Murong Vu lamented. 1,000 and 4,000 spirit stones. It's a little bit of loyalty. I try to get to the bottom of it. I don't know if there's anything good next. Your brother is so generous. You definitely need a few more. The 6 adventurers also laughed. The fish also laughed. He is a friend of the photographer. But a belly of evil thought like a photographer. Never to be disadvantaged. At the other table, some people looked up and asked. The guy who seems to be trying is his billions. Because the disease has lost its place as heir. I tried to spend the whole day playing around. There is no right to be an heir. Everyone thinks he's a wreck. See, these rumors are a bit untrue. The other name is right. To have such power. Fear that the back is not easy. Long Thin Min. He glanced over and thought he'd been hiding for so long. Now it's revealed again. He's trying to give his students so much money. Or he's in the business of something. Sorry, The city is one of the 3 great houses of God. In these kids, outside Trihangra, there's no AI with such extraordinary gifts. Even if I try, it's hard to catch my eye. Even the gods can make you feel appreciated. It can be counted as the wind. The other one is him. Want to step up to the boss? He is my greatest enemy. Suddenly, a blonde called out. They are auctioning off the adult dragon blood. Has excellent properties. The bald head says more. This year's auction of the great dragon's blood. There's a lot of maturity. Long Thin Min laughed, haha, that's right. Another guy says there's a couple at auction every year. This kind of love, it's already rare. This year, we have sold 10 of them. The person next to me agreed to say more. It doesn't seem to end yet. The photographer is quietly watching. Try to send a message to ask. I sold 20 of them. Are there many? Meanwhile, the luggage seriously said it was just great. What's the point of being mature? He froze and made a clean cup. The dog also sighed, that's right. Murong Dao also breathed out his face. The photographer looked at, think of the gift of luggage, and so on Long Thin Min. It's no less. It's because of his concubine. Inflammation of the world. It's impossible to give him the blood of a demon. Maturity. His previous life became a master. Finally, naturally, there will be a god-level dragon blood love spirit. But he's still in a very sad state right now. There's no gas. Then suddenly, the sound came out. You have a transaction. I don't know if you're interested. Luggage van asked what transaction. The photographer replied, if you are really interested. I can't say. You can make a soul you want. Listen to this. Luggage van grasped the cup in his hand. I ask you what you mean by love. The maturity of the Long clan. The photographer needs.